I made the mistake of getting my chair ready and then walking away. Someone stole it. Hello, welcome. So, it is the Friday before mini immersion technically starts on Saturday, but I'm getting a little bit of an early start. I really want to read this whole book this weekend. It is the second book in the Los Dioses del Norte series. My library did buy the audiobook for this after I requested it, which I was extremely excited about, so I want to listen and read at the same time, which is also how I read the first book in this series. Really enjoyed it. So this is 6 hours and 20 minutes long as an audiobook, so I read about 15 minutes last night, and then I would like to read about 2 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hopefully, to finish it. The longest that I have read in a day before in Spanish is 2 hours and 40 minutes, and that did feel like quite a lot, so you know, we shall see. Hopefully, if I'm able to spread it out into, 4 half-an-hour chunks or something like that. I won't be able to do that tonight because it's already like 6 p.m. or something, but I have high hopes to be able to do that. Other things that I would really like to be able to do this weekend would be finish all of the copies of The Little Prince that I am currently reading. I am reading it in German, in French, in English, and in Spanish, and so I would like to finish all of them. I think I'm halfway through these two, a little bit more actually, and then I am not even really close to halfway yet in German, and I think I'm somewhere between these in Spanish. I think I'm close to halfway. So if I could finish all of those, that would be wonderful. I also am buddy reading Crónica de una muerte anunciada with someone on Instagram, the bookish sociologist, so we are reading it in Spanish, and I'd like to make a little bit more progress if I can this weekend. No pressure, but that would be nice. And then I have been reading books, very, very basic children's books, like picture books, on the Next Story app in French. And so that has been really great. They have a lot of books where they have both the ebook and the audiobook so that you can listen and read at the same time, which is wonderful. So I want to do some of that this weekend. And those are the only set plans that I have. Obviously that's a lot in and of itself, but I would like to do some other things as well. Those are like my reading-centric plans, but I also would like to watch some TV or maybe try playing a game or something different, but I would really like to knock out these books. I will update you later. Okay, so I am an hour and a half into today's reading. It really didn't feel like that long so far. Like, when I was about 20 minutes in, I was like, oh my god, there's no way I can read this much. Like, it feels like it's been so long already. But then I really hit my stride, and, it still kind of felt long, but just have half an hour left to go. So I stopped and looked at my phone for a while, and then I made some popcorn, and now we're gonna keep reading. Okay, hello. Sorry for this weird angle and such. Unfortunately, I am sick. My coworkers had the flu this week, and I think that it has finally made the rounds to me, so I am not looking, the freshest, not feeling the freshest, but it is about 12:30 on Saturday, or it's almost 1. I did some stuff for my other channel, so now I am ready to get back into mini immersion, so I am going to read The Little Prince in German until 1:30, where there is a German stream in my time, and so I thought that would be nice to have a little German interlude. And yeah, then I will probably get into my Spanish stuff for the day. Hopefully I will continue feeling good enough to do things. Right now I just feel like my throat is really sore, I'm tired, general, not feeling the best, but I still feel okay, so okay, so it is about 9:15, I think, and I have finished my reading for the day, so I have an hour and 55 minutes left to do tomorrow. And I have actually sped up the audiobook to 1.1 times speed, so it'll be slightly less than that. This was a lot more difficult today, I think partially because I am really tired and it just felt longer, but I am enjoying the book, and I just think that reading this quickly, like reading this much, finishing a book in one weekend and not like, you know, a little tiny book. I mean, this does have big font, but still, you know, it's like a almost 300 page book, and to read it in one weekend, I think it just kind of is breaking like a mental block I think that I have about reading in Spanish, that like I read really slow in Spanish and stuff, and I do in comparison to how I read in English, but I think sometimes I'm putting that limit on myself of how much I can read in Spanish more so than my level is putting it on myself. So anyway, obviously it depends a great deal on what you are reading. This is middle grade, maybe YA, but really I think middle grade. It's not super difficult to read. But anyway, I am feeling pretty tired, so I am going to probably watch an episode of Lupin and go to sleep. I've already showered and everything, so maybe I'll make some popcorn. Good morning. It is Sunday. It is 10:30. I am feeling okay this morning. I woke up with a headache and back and neck ache and such, but I am feeling better with some medicine, and so I'm going to get back into reading. My goal ideally for today would be to finish The Little Prince in Spanish, French, and English. I have decided that I'm not going to try to finish it in German for this weekend, because I am only like 28 pages in German, and it's 85 or so. There's no point in rushing through it, but I think I can finish it in the other 3 languages. I think I'm going to do Spanish first. I am reading it as an ebook in Spanish, so I'll do that. Then maybe I'll read half of the rest of this. So I have an hour and 55 minutes left of this, so if I read an hour now and an hour later, I can also finish this, which will be great. I also don't want to make my headache really bad, so if all of this reading turns out to be too much, then I will, you know, do something else instead, so we shall see. Hello, excuse me, my voice is so weird. So it's 8:45. I finished El Principito earlier today. I have read about 20 minutes of Los Dioses del Norte while I was waiting for the Spanish stream. We watched El Caída, which is called Dive, on Amazon Prime, and it was very good. It was a very sad movie. It's brand new, I think, and it is about abuse essay in the Olympic training community, and so yeah, obviously very sad, but I think a very, very well done movie. So I am going to try to finish this now. I would like to also finish The Little Prince in English. I'm going to save Le Petit Prince for tomorrow, because obviously I'm not going to work and giving people the flu. But yeah, we will see if I'm able to, you know, be awake long enough for that. Hello, so it is Monday. It's about noon, so obviously my weekend has been extended because I can't go to work and make people sick. I mean, everybody at work is already sick, that's how I got this, but I have finished all 4 books that I wanted to finish this weekend. So I finished The Little Prince in Spanish first yesterday. I think I already talked about that. I also finished The Little Prince in English yesterday. This morning I finished these 2. So first I finished Los Dioses del Norte. So this is the second book in the Los Dioses del Norte series, El Tejedor de Pesadillas, which is the Weaver of Nightmares, I think. This is a middle grade fantasy book. So in the first book, we are following 3 cousins who inadvertently discover that there is a well near their house that is a portal to another world. And in this book, they have to deal with the fact that there is a crack in that portal, which is kind of not maintaining the separation between the worlds properly, and so you're still following the same cousins. And I really enjoyed this. I do think it's kind of slow moving, which I think is kind of a thing with middle grade because, you know, they're trying to set up the story, and I still really enjoyed the characters. I think the characters are done pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, I really think the villain in this one kind of had a point. So I'm interested to see how that develops through the rest of the series. There are 2 more books out and I own them. I don't know if there's going to be more after that. I kind of hope not, because, you know, 4 books is a good series, you know, I don't need more. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that that is explored a little bit more in future books, because I don't necessarily agree with his methods, but I kind of thought that he had a point. Then I just finished Le Petit Prince, The Little Prince, in French. I'm not gonna lie, towards the end here, I was not understanding much, because it does get, you know, very philosophical near the end. And I don't know any philosophical words in French unless they're the same as they are in English. But it was still really satisfying to finish this, and you know, now I just have the German one left. I will try to finish this week. So I think it is time for a nap for me. But after that, I kind of want to, as a little treat for myself, unwrap this and start it. All of the books that I'm reading right now in English are really heavy, and I already was kind of struggling with that before I got sick, and now I'm sick, and so even less do I feel you know, diving into something really heavy. So I don't know, a sci-fi YA romance seems like maybe the way to go right now. So I don't know, I might do that because it's calling to me. So we have tea for my poor throat. I am trying, well, I'm not trying, I had some yesterday, so I've already tried it, but this is the wild sweet orange flavor. I'm going to unwrap this. I'm so excited. Books are almost never wrapped in the US. I've noticed from other places, from watching YouTube videos of other places, that they are often wrapped. So this is an exotic experience for me. I believe this came from Mexico. I ordered it on bookshop.org, but the back says Mexico. Nice and floppy. Ooh, it looks like, I didn't expect the font to look like that. It looks like, I don't know. Oh, the author is from Mallorca. I did not know that. I believe I have access to these audiobooks, so let me see how long this audiobook is. Okay, so this audiobook is 15.5 hours long. That's kind of long for me. So there are 10 days left in November. I wonder if I can finish this in November. I forgot to talk about this. So something that happened to me for the first time ever in Spanish with the Los Dioses del Norte book is that I was able to speed it up a little bit. So when I'm listening in English to things, I usually can listen to audiobooks on 2 times speed at least, depending on the audiobook. But in Spanish, for now, even when I'm reading along with it, certainly when I'm listening without reading along, I'm still at 1 time speed. But even when I was reading along with it, which usually makes it significantly easier for me, I had always been on 1 time speed prior to that. But I found myself accidentally reading ahead. So I went up to 1.1 times speed, and then by the end I was up to 1.2 times speed. So that was very exciting, and I'm kind of hoping that that will continue, although I think it will definitely depend on the type of book. This one is YA, so possibly once I get into the story that might happen, but also who freaking knows. So I am going to try this. I'm excited. I've never read anything Wattpad before, and this is how this started, was a Wattpad author. So yeah, I'm very, very interested.